Welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network, presented by Primary Arms. Just kidding. Just kidding. Actually, we are presented by Patriot Patch Company. And forpatriots.com. And we wanted to mention that we do have merchandise now. So, got the cool tumblers and the shirts and can koozies. So, anyway, crap. Where to go? Sorry. I had Rumble crash, so.
Vanessa Kitty, if you're making fruitcakes, you can send one to my house.
I'm a fruitcake. Anyway, so. Ken is torn.
Oh, he's only got two things to set up.
Yep. I love fruitcake.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Anyway. Sounds like it's raining.
We had a thunderstorm today. Fun.
We've had quite a few come through.
We needed it, though.
Yeah.
Had to turn the sprinkler on and start watering the yard, starting to brown out.
Oof.
Too early for that.
So.
I'm looking.
Looks like I can't get Rumble back, so no Rumble tonight. I don't know what the heck went on with it. So, anyway, we have merchandise through Southern Gals Crafts. The link is on the show notes. It's also on the Buy Our Merch link on our homepage at Firearms Radio Network's homepage, which is firearmsradio.net. Anyway, so I actually was pretty busy. So anyway, I worked on some 223. I loaded up about 100 rounds last week. I actually cleaned a gun, which I normally don't do unless they don't function. But I was the officiant for my sister's wedding past weekend. And so had to dress up. And so as a lot of you know, I lost my brother a couple of years ago. This was his 6-hour 1911. And so we decided that I was going to open carry it. So it's nice two-tone.
Pretty.
So
pretty good.
Yeah, I got to do a little detail cleaning on it because he didn't really. I was showing the guys the hammer's a little goofy, trigger's a little gunked up. It's got the really nice Crimson Trace rosewood laser grips on it. Nice night sights. But what I did is I ordered a 1791 holster for it outside the waistband. So really impressed with, I've been they're one of our expert voice for work. So I've done all their training and found it interesting, and then I was looking at getting one of these for this anyway, but then with having it for the wedding, I wound up ordering it off Amazon because I didn't have time to wait. But really impressed with it. Really fits nice, well out of the box. Not a lot of dinking around and adjusting like you do with a lot of other holsters that aren't, out there. Usually you wind up spending a lot of time trying to get it to fit in, or getting you usually wind up having a lot of stretching to get the retention to work. Retention out of the box. It was really, really tight fit, which over time probably loosened up. But if I'm going to carry a gun, by God, I want to be able to use it. And if I need to use it, I don't want to be fighting to drag it out of the holster, especially when I haven't spent a lot of time drawing from said holster. So, the other thing I did is I went and bought some of this Sig Sauer Elite Defense 230 grain jacketed hollow points. I've used the Sig Sauer Elite Defense for 9. I really like the performance out of them. I like the grouping out of it. I'm going to plan a range trip and see how well it groups. So, but they're really nice hollow point, and they're a little bigger opening than the ones that my brother was using for the Remington. So, but the other thing I did is a buddy of mine stopped into Cabela's about a week ago, and we were bull crapping as we tend to do when he stops by and talking about things. And I had told him I was, looking to get into, I was talking about, we were talking about ARs, and he used to big into ARs, and now he's back into bolt guns. And so he was telling me that he had one of the CMMG 22 long rifle conversion kits. And I said, yeah, that's on my list. I got to get one of those. And I was talking about the cutting edge bullets. He goes, well, I've got one that I'm not using, so I'll just sell it to you. Okay. So 2 mags. I didn't realize that somebody else made mags for CMMGs, so that's kind of cool. One of them is the actual CMMG mag, because they used to only come with 1 mag. Now they come with 3. Price obviously went up too, but and then this one is from Black Dog Machine X-Form 15 rounder. So he said he never had a problem with it. Operated flawlessly, no matter what ammo, including including Thunderbolts. So that's always good news. And then the other thing he had sitting around that he wasn't using anymore was a set of Redding reloading dies. So I got those off of his hands too. So now I got dies for my 6.5 when I get to that project after deer season. So
after deer season.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 30-30 is going to the woods with me.
Good.
So there's
Good.
stuff right over there that needs to get bullets stuck in it. I loaded up the 5.56 or the 2.23 instead of loading up the 30-30 because the 5.50 was all set to go. So it was easier. I didn't have to set up any dies and set my bullet seating depth and all that crap. So I just went, ooh, and cranked out 100 rounds. But I'm a slacker compared to Andy 79Z28. He said 700 rounds of 300 blackout, about 1,000 9mm in the last 2 weeks. Plus, he casted up a storm of zinc bullets. So
yeah, really, we all are.
Paul Loud called it a dirty 30 because usually it is, especially if you shoot core locks. Because let's be honest, core locks use really dirty powder. So I don't even know what they use. It'd be interesting to find out.
Probably a derivative of unique.
Probably. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. So
good.
So yeah, I might load up those rounds tonight. I've got 140 grain and 160 grain. I want to try the 140 grain out, so I'm going to load up 20 rounds of that and see what I get. So I might sneak out to the range tomorrow night after work.
There you go.
We'll see.
There you go.
The wife had a project for me one of these nights this week, so I got to figure that out. So I don't know.
Honey-do list. Okay.
Yeah. It might have to wait till Saturday morning because I just realized I still haven't switched the scope over.
Okay.
So, Jim, how about you?
You got to unmute yourself, Jim.
It works so much better if you're not muted, Jim.
And I had to figure out which screen I'm using because I was actually starting to write a message into the podcast host group. Excuse me.
Anyway.
Have I done anything other than answer several questions? No, not really. Thinking about sending some more money to
SAF?
No. Place that I've been to, it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
Exactly 10 years ago that I went there. In Raton, New Mexico. Think about sending them a little retainer every month.
Oh, there you go.
That would be the NRA Whittington Center. That's the name of it, guys. NRA Whittington Center.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. The host, we got into a bit of a discussion about 2A, pro 2A groups in the, yeah, I know. We're not going to go politics.
No. I didn't realize. I'm clearing out notifications because I got a message from Sharenda.
She's still at the dentist.
Yeah, she's still stuck at the dentist. But so I was checking that, but I just got a notification that the Red Wings are actually playing a preseason game tonight.
Uh-oh.
Hockey's back, baby.
So you donated money to the Whittington Center so they can keep shooting out there?
Yep.
Oh,
that place is a shooter's dream.
Oh yeah.
I've heard.
Oh yeah. And all it takes is an NRA membership to get in.
Well, I've had that for years. I don't even know when. I don't even know when I became a life member. But anyway, Mike knows who I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure, but you guys might remember. Well, yeah, that's right. We hadn't created the podcast when Tom and I went out there. Tom McClellan from South Dakota. Give him a shout out. But anyway, he and I met each other in Raton, New Mexico at the Super 8. And we spent 24 hours, not straight, 2 days, 12-hour shifts on the Whittington Center. I was actually scoring hits at 800 meters on the steel. And he was scoring hits with a 1911 at 1,000. I couldn't quite do it for whatever reason. I could hit the post the target was mounted on, but I could not hit the plate target of the target. But anyway, I was using my Glock 22, and I was shooting just as accurate as he was. I just couldn't put the bullet against it for whatever reason. Of course, too, by this time it gets out to 1,000 yards, I'm thinking the trajectory of the terminal end of the parabolic curve has got to be damn near vertical.
Yeah, you're probably looking at your danger zone, and to hit a target that size is probably about what, 6 feet, maybe.
Well, think about just putting a stop to a group of nefarious rogues that smell like fecal matter. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say, guys. Anyway, just putting a stop to their behavior if they're in a pickup truck. You could hit it easily, walk them in on a pickup truck. And that's what Tom and I did. We were walking them in. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, you really don't have to hold that much elevation on the gun. What you actually do is you learn to tip the gun that way and use the front sights. You don't have to hold it up and shoot high. You just tip the gun in your hand.
Yeah, yeah. The colonel used to have us for 100 yards. Packmar had a set of sights that had a notch in it where you would put the notch and the part of the blade at 100
Mhm.
yards, and you could
Mhm.
hit with a 45.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, wait a minute, Paul. Did I just understand you say you were hitting things at 100 yards
with a yeah
with a 1911?
with a 1911. Yeah.
Somebody said those bullets won't carry that far.
Well, you just said 1,000 yards, so
I just contradicted myself, didn't I?
yeah, I don't know, but you were using one of them staple guns too, so
Well, I was shooting the G22, but Tom was shooting the 1911.
He
yeah,
was shooting the 40 short and weak.
Yep, I was.
yeah. So them
I am trying to find.
those staple guns, they're just yeah, you know. But
But anyway,
for a
that's
lot
how.
of for a lot of people when they get handicapped like you, that works for them.
Dang.
Handicapped. Well, I tell you what. You take your 1911, I'll take my G22, and we'll shoot each other at 1,000 yards to see who hits the guy first.
Okay, that's
Oh,
not a
for
problem with
crying
me.
out loud.
We'll put a steel plate right next to each other. We'll aim at the steel plate, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that drum of liquor, on the other side, the barrel of liquor
That's,
on the other side. We won't
that's
touch
right.
it.
Yep. So
what have you been up to, Paul?
I have been organizing targets that I want to, with loads that I have to reshoot, reloading those up, getting those set up. My phone presence has been requested to help some people. A person set up a one of the new Frankfurt Arsenal X10s press. So I've been helping him get that one set up. That's one of our people online here. And then trying to hit another one that we have online here that he just has to learn how to read the wind better, and trying to use my 2x4 in the back of his head, but we'll get there. And my nephew has gotten into reloading, and he went out and purchased a RCBS Link powder dispenser. So I borrowed it from him.
Yep.
And I took it and I did some testing with it. See how accurate it is.
Yep, and to see how precise it is too.
Yep, see how precise, and what a few different powders and stuff to look at, and I will share a screen with a window that I got up. And
Mike,
so,
is there a way to, excuse me, Paul, is there a way to take and maximize just the spreadsheet itself?
Just did it.
Just did.
Thank you.
And if you hit down on the bottom, you can get it even bigger.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start with 700X. It's basically a shotgun and handgun round, and I took it as a handgun round, and it didn't do too bad as far as it. Average was a 4.98 grains, and a standard deviation of 0.02 of a grain, an extreme spread of 0.08 of a grain.
That's
Not
pretty
bad.
damn precise.
That's pretty good. Moved over to a small rifle, and by that it's a stick powder, and picked out 25.5 grains. And then we started getting some little more deviation started showing up. And we ended up with, average of six hundredths of a grain over. The standard deviation was a little higher, was 1.6 grains. 0.16 grains variation, and an extreme spread of a little over half a grain.
Hey, Paul, 1 second, please.
Yeah.
In cell I4, is that a typo or is that deliberately you put in 25.8?
The
I4.
I4. That was what it threw for the first charge.
Okay, 25.8. Thank you, sir.
Yep, I just wrote down what I set it for, and then if it threw a bad charge, I put it on. Okay.
3/10 of a grain in an AR load. That would be noticeable,
Right.
to say the least.
So you could, get yourself into a little bit of trouble there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now I started sitting there wondering at the same, while I was doing this, what kind of time it took to do this. So I, again, ran a test with 46.7, same powder. Figured it as a medium rifle, 308 load, something along that, 6.5 Creedmoor, something along those lines, and ran through it, and not bad. I mean, it averaged 46.7. We did a really good SD of only 600ths over. Extreme spread of 0.2 of a grain, and an average time of 24 seconds for the measure to dispense the powder. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that is not bad as itself goes. Let's move this over.
You're good.
Okay. Then we went with a large, heavy stick powder for something like a 7 mag, 300 Win mag, something like that. You notice that the charge times improved.
Now, excuse me, which RCBS was this again?
The Link. Okay, it's about a $300 powder measure.
Okay.
It's not the top of the line or the middle of the line. It's their beginner's one, I guess you want to call it. So, but for large rifle loads, time improved tremendously with 20 seconds for each one. An average of 70.3 versus an asking of 70.2. Extreme spread was 22.22 of a grain, and an SD of 600ths of a grain. Really showing the benefit of using this type of for a large charge weight, especially with a 20-second window of dispensing powder.
Mm-hmm.
Then I figured we'd have to have some ball powder in there. And I'm not a big ball powder fan, but I did have some accurate number 5 for pistol. So 7 7 grains of accurate number 5, runs a 45 ACP with a 200 grain cast lead wad cutter. So ran it, and not bad at average, with only 3/100ths of a grain, very as an average over. The standard deviation was 3/100ths of a grain, an SD of a 1/10 of a grain. But the kicker is the time. The time it takes to do it is roughly 30 seconds, okay, for it to dispense 7 grains of powder.
Yet the darn thing can dispense 70 grains of powder in 20 seconds.
Right. Exactly.
Of the 48 IMR 4831 or H4831.
Right. So that's the kicker for it. Now I'm gonna stop for a second. I'm gonna bring it up.
I swear I hear somebody's automatic weapon in the background. Some sort of fluttering. I know I don't, but I hear pattering or fluttering.
So
but
this is the dispenser. Whoop. That's the cover. It's pretty simple to run. They give you 2 50-gram weights to calibrate the scale. Because I wanted it to be for both of them to be accurate, I used a 50 from this on this scale, and then I used a 100 that I use on my other scale. So they're both tracking 100 grams when they're calibrated. The dispenser works really well as far as I'm concerned. It was very intuitive to run. I did not load the Link software up on it. I didn't. I'm not going to use it, and I don't want it to interfere with my other dispenser. So I did that. Interesting enough, this is the pain in the ass with this dispenser, is the powder removal. As soon as you turn this knob an 1/8 of a turn or less, it will start losing powder. I had to end up marking the top so it was noticeable where the where it would hold the powder in, so it wouldn't spill after a couple of spills that I did myself. Not perfect, guys. Cleans out fairly well. The top is securely on there. It's not loose. You have a good, a good secure fit. They give you a brush to clean it out with. There are 4 leveling feet on there that you have to level it out. And for $300, it's not bad. And right now, RCBS is giving you a $40 rebate on this, which is why he bought it. So, as an average reloader, would I use it? Yes. It is definitely a usable dispenser, and scale.
We have an excellent question from Ken Brown.
Nope, don't give it any throw. It's not a throw. It's going to take what I plug into it and start measuring the powder. And then I gave it 10. Ran it for 10 throws, and then measured it against my FX 120.
Forgive me, Paul. You mean something like 10 drops?
Yeah, 10 drops. 10. Yeah,
10
10
drops of powder.
10 dispenses, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would call it dispense a throw.
Right.
So, but so it looks like basically the only differences between the Link and the Supreme. The Supreme, you can it'll learn custom powders,
Right.
and then it's got some more memory features. So
Bluetooth in there can memorize lots of memory in there from what from what I understand. But I did not load it up. It's not mine to to keep.
right.
I just took it from them and said I want to do a review of it and see how accurate it is. And from what I can tell, you're not going to get in trouble with it.
That's good.
So
Running of Scissors has a question. Says Paul, wouldn't you agree that RCBS Franklin electronic scales is all most need? It's what you're trying to do, and yes, I've joined late.
I haven't reviewed the Franklin scales, but the RCBS I give it all for 90% of the people that are reloading out there, they're fine.
Mm-hmm. Is he talking about the Frankfurt Arsenal one?
Yeah, the Frankfurt Arsenal.
Yeah.
Like I said, we
well,
I haven't ran a test on it.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we meet up to get all those the stuff we were talking about for the 45, and I'll let you take my Frankfurt Arsenal and play with it.
Okay.
So, but anyway.
Yeah.
So, before I do that, though, I actually got to get the Lyman set up somewhere else and do some testing. So, but anyway, or maybe I'll do that after. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So sounds like it's basically it kind of sounds like it's almost like the old Chargemaster Lite, but now it's a one-piece unit instead of a two-piece.
Well, the original Chargemaster was a two-piece unit. Yeah. Then they had the Chargemaster, and the older ones had some problems. So and I'd seen before. So I kind of stayed away from that.
Yeah.
And I was a user of electronic scales for a long time, but they were never made me happy until I got, well, the first one was the A&D 123 that I first bought, that would weigh to 2/100ths of a grain, and then the FX 120, which was much more stable in reloading, and was expandable.
Yeah.
But the 123 gave me a confidence in electronics. But the cost to go to the 120 and the V3 or the V4, they're getting prohibitively expensive for people to go out and buy as an everyday shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, not a lot of people want to go and drop $1,000 on a scale and dispenser.
No.
So, so we have to, as just a regular reloader, not somebody that is sitting there trying to shoot quarter-minute groups all the time. We want to shoot a 1-inch group. We're fine with that. This works. This works. I think I could even shoot half-inch with it if I worked at it.
Yeah.
But I have two scales to double check things with.
Right.
And if you're talking with a stick powder 48.95, and you're three you're 3 kernels over at 6 600ths of a grain. Okay, so it's about 6 kernels.
Yeah.
Or so. So you can take your tweezers and pull it out and get an idea.
Somebody from Facebook wants to know: is there much splash with the Chargemaster?
No, that was something that surprised me. I had not a lot. There is some. Can't say there isn't any. There is some, but not anywhere near what I've experienced with other scales and other dispensers. Yeah, it was pretty. It was pretty slick, pretty quick, and very clean. Other than the valve to empty it off. Someone's got to make a better valve.
Wow. So Ray Coronado Jr., you just said Prometheus is expensive.
$5,000 if you want to buy it.
3,800 actually on their website.
Oh, buying it now is 3,800.
Yeah.
Or is that
Prometheus
the
Gen 2?
Okay.
So basically, it's a electrified balance beam.
It's a very precise balance beam. Very precise balance beam. It's all encased, enclosed. And what you don't see is the cup that they have that takes the individual granules and drops the individual granules into the pan.
Oh.
They have a
price is starting at 3,800.
Yeah.
Important legal notice regarding resale of Prometheus machines.
Prometheus originally went out, and instead of selling the machines, they leased them. Okay. So
so people are selling the leased units.
right. So, and he's the inventor is an old crotchety old guy that said, you know, and
Well, it makes sense if they're leased and you're paying for the lease still.
yeah, you're paying for the lease, and it's like $4,000.
So
You might as well buy one. They're about $5,000 when you buy one.
I don't need to be that accurate.
It's funny. Everybody sits down and they develop their load with the V4 or a super trickler for all these matches. Then they turn to a Prometheus and they bulk charge everything with their Prometheus.
Interesting.
Yes. They it's I guess when you're spending $5,000 on barrels a year, you can do it.
Yeah.
But
Well, I guess the question is, what type of shooting are you doing where that would really be a good ROI?
F class is one. If you're a national match shooter, that would be another one. In their long range, 1,000-yard shooting that isn't part of the F class.
So are you winning enough prize money in F class to actually offset the cost?
No, you can't win that much money. There isn't that much money there.
So it's not
It's
worth
the
it.
prestige. It's the prestige. You can get sponsored, but it's the prestige.
Okay.
Now, PRS, there's money there. They are really, PRS, and there's money going with that one now. They have what $8,000-$10,000 to win the nationals and that. What was the
Ken says you pay to shoot F class, you don't get paid. Well, that means I'm out.
yeah.
So it's interesting. I guess if that's your hobby, then cool. But I guess it's kind of like a lot of your race cars,
Yeah.
or a lot of your race cars you're not going to earn back enough to or pay for your race car most of the time. So I guess it's kind of like that. But so same with bench rest, other than nationals, prize giveaways from sponsors of the match. So
Right.
yeah. Nick could be happy. The Cardinals are beating the Brewers. So,
here's the thing. And this is from Shooting USA. The 2021 Armageddon Gear Cup Invitational. which is a PRS event, was $75,000 in cash prize awards. So that's there's something that you can win at, and maybe if you shoot enough can win money.
Yeah.
Trap shooting never won money.
Yeah.
Other than Annie Oakley's and and side bets and live bird shoots.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, but I mean, with like trap shooting and stuff like that, you're not necessarily, looking at spending that amount of money that you are on F class. I mean, heck, let's be honest. Just for the amount of money they're spending for their bipod rest is enough to pay for your ammo for an entire league.
For a week. Yeah. For
an entire season if you're loading it.
Oh, well, back in the day, yeah, I don't know now, but you're talking it's,
Jeremy
2000.
said Jeremy said his bench was $950.
$2,000, yeah, 1,800.
And I can load up 100 rounds for about $25.
Okay.
So, but yeah, like Roy Coronado Jr. said, you don't shoot to make money, you shoot because you love it. I'm just trying to, figure it out.
I'm just going to tell you, I mean, the problem with trap is the cost of the guns now. Okay. I mean, guns that I was shooting in my day were between $8,000 and $16,000. Nowadays, they're 30,000.
And those guys with the $30,000 guns, some of those guys are still getting outshot with.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I mean, the good ones that are sitting down there. Oh yeah, they're running, expensive guns.
Yeah.
Because everything's fit to you.
Right.
You don't get in my day an $8,000 gun didn't come from the factory. You got fit for it.
Right.
And then they went from there.
But those guys that are shooting that well, that are actually, you're talking they're not, on 1,000 birds, they may drop one.
Yeah, it becomes a really tough day because you'll sit down and you'll run 250 birds in a day. Okay. And that's that's five matches of that you'll 10 matches you'll run in a day.
Right.
And then you'll go to the next one the next day and do the same thing. And then the third day is you'll have they'll have everybody picked off, and you will then go out and find out who you're shooting against and everything else. If you shot well enough.
Yeah.
And you're right. Out of you don't drop many birds out of 100. You can't drop any birds out of 100. Mm-hmm. Out of 250, you may drop one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And still be lucky enough to be in there at 16 yards. And then you'll shoot handicap and everything else, and it's a lot of work, and it's tiring.
Yeah.
It is tiring.
I think the most I've ever shot in one day was 150, and yeah, it's tough.
Well, we would start on a major shoot. We would start at 8:00 in the morning,
mm-hmm.
and we wouldn't finish till 8 o'clock at night.
Right.
And that was, you switch over to whitebirds, when the sun set.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there were when I was at Vandalia, there were 50 traps that they were permanent and placed.
Wow.
Okay. And you would get your squad, and at 7:30 in the morning, you'd look at it, and it would tell you you'd be on trap, let's say trap 3, trap 20, and then maybe trap 75, and then they'll start you all over again, and you'll be somewhere else, and you go out and start, when your relay started up, you'd start, and then you keep moving down the line. And then you get people that are walking back and forth, to different places. They had, for some shooters, they had golf carts to move them back and forth faster. If you're down at the end of 50 and you're going the other way.
So we talked to a few kids that shot at the new home.
Okay.
And yeah, I've seen the overheads of that, the satellites, and it's just trap after trap after trap after trap after trap.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Well, you know why they got rid of it at Vandalia, don't you? Was at the airport. It was backed up to an airport.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was the end of that one after 9/11.
Yep. I would imagine so. So.
But yeah, it's all relevant as far as what you're doing as far as that. But I don't know, PRS is the only one that I know of where you're making money.
Yeah. Now, here's a question for you, since we're talking about competition shooting and loading and stuff. You and I both load shot shell.
Right.
How serious do you get with your powder charge?
I have been known to steal the wife's fingernail polish.
Yeah.
And to go in and paint the inside of her of the bushing, charge bushing.
Yep.
To adjust the powder charge. Just a layer of red nail polish or whatever, and inside, just to take a little volume out of it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is having one or more baffles in the powder column.
Yep.
And the same thing with lead shot isn't so bad, but you're using Magnum shot. You're using the expensive bag of shot instead of the cheap stuff, the softer stuff.
Right.
And then you're testing. You test out the pattern to see where you're at.
What distance did you check your pattern at?
40 okay. yards.
Because I was always told 35. Obviously, 5 more yards is going to make a huge difference. So, but you're saying 40?
40 yards. We checked it at 40 yards.
Okay.
And you're checking two things. You're checking to see how the shot is, and from your point of aim, and how high the shot is over the point of aim. In other words, I was always looking for about 2/3 of my pattern to be above it and 1/3 be below it, and no holes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I remember the first the first load that I worked up for the kids when I was working on their 20 gauges. Um, I did it at 35, and about 3/4 of the shot was down below the point of aim.
right.
And keep in mind, I took the shots. I didn't let them do it.
Uh-huh.
But then also there was a spot about like this that only had 3 pellets in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that load's junk.
Yeah.
So
And you got to do it 3 times in order to figure out that it's junk,
yep.
you know. But
I had 25 loaded up for it, so but
no, but it's what, it's where you're at and what you're shooting and everything else and
mhm.
um
Greg Wyatt said he cuts a hole, rolls it up, and puts it inside the bushing. That's another way to do it. So, I know that one of the things that they are doing now, and I haven't looked into it deeply, but one of the things they're doing is 3D printing them now.
they could, yeah. I mean, it's been a long time since I've been having to
Well, yeah, you found your load and you stuck to it. So
right.
it's
Yeah.
just like with their 20 gauges, I found the load and stuck with it. So
Mm-hmm.
and then proceeded to load a few thousand hulls on a Lee Loadall, which
Ooh.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, when you gave me that Pacific, that was a godsend, by the way. When I switched over to 12,
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
it was,
oh,
that was why I gave it to you because,
yeah,
you can't be in competition and load with a single stage press. You just can't,
you
you
can. You
know.
just get really tired.
Well, you had two, you told me you had 2 boys you were loading for, and I
Yeah,
said, okay, here
yep,
you go.
yeah, that was a
And
godsend. So instead of 50 rounds an hour, I was now tripling that. So
yeah,
and that wasn't even pushing the press to what it'll do. So good night, Jim.
Jim, take
Good night,
care.
all.
Get some sleep, buddy.
Yep. Appreciate it.
You
Yep.
bet.
Good topic, by the way.
That was me last night. It was just
Yep.
I was at work and it was just so.
Yep. All right, I'm going. Talk to you next
All
week.
right.
Ta-ta.
All right. Take care. So, but yeah, it's, all right, I'm not using both, I had
Yeah.
3 of them.
Yep.
I got 2 still. They're not even set up right now. I don't have enough, even with all the stuff that I have, I don't have enough room to set up all my presses,
Yeah. I don't either.
so
Even if I was able to get all of the stuff that's sitting on the floor out of the way and put benches up, I still wouldn't have enough to. Well, that's because I've got a crap ton of six. What I need to do is I need to start liquidating some of the presses I know I'm not going to use. Like I've got, I don't know, 8 or 10 600 juniors. I've got those 2 9,000s that I need to sell, but I want to clean them up a little bit before I sell them. So
mm-hmm.
it's a matter of getting time and motivation. Because either I find something else I want to do, or the wife finds me something else to do. So, but
I could, if I took off all the tool storage and everything else that I have in here, I still wouldn't have enough places for the boxes that I need and everything else that I keep to, like, put scales in. If a scale goes bad, I want to send it off in a box.
yeah,
Yep. So that kind of stuff. If the scope goes bad, I want to send it off in the box.
Yep.
That's what I want to do. So I keep all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cases for the guns. I'm sorry, but they take up a lot of goddamn room in the house.
Well, yeah, when you get those fancy guns that come in the hard plastic blow molded cases, yeah, they take up a lot of space.
Yeah, I
Now,
mean,
see me,
y-
I have a lot of guns that just go in gun socks. So
I, you know, going to the range is what I'm talking about. Or, you go
right,
travel, you want to travel 1,600 miles one way
you want those in a
in a
hard
gun
case.
stock,
No.
in a gun stock.
Well, it depends on what the gun is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I'm going to go traveling that far, no, they're probably going in a hard case, but I'm also not taking a bunch. So, Greg Wyatt said, or take a smaller bushing and drill it out to get the charge you're looking for. Yeah, that's a possibility. That's one of the other things they're doing with the 3D printing is they'll print it with a smaller, and then you go from there. Yeah, and that's the other reason to have press. If like eventually one of those 600 juniors is going to get set up for steel. So, and that's a whole different process. So, Michael Hurtnick wants to know, what shot shell press are you using? It's a Pacific 366, also known as a Hornady 366, because Hornady bought out Pacific Tool. When did we figure out that was 60s? We
No,
looked it up once.
it was in the 80s.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yes, it was in the 80s when they took over on it.
So what Hornady was smart enough to do when they took over is the Pacific 366 is an amazing shot shell progressive. Literally, in my personal opinion, the only one better is the Panzer Warren 800B, which I now have one too. But that was because somebody presented me with a deal I couldn't turn down. So otherwise I
Yeah,
wouldn't. Otherwise, and it was going for a good cause. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it. But
but I didn't. I forgot what they cost at the time, and I gave it to you, and I said, not a
Yeah.
big deal. But they are what 366 is about $1,500 now.
I don't even remember. Let's find out. Brownells. I know when you gave it to me, it was 700 or 800.
Yeah,
And I was extremely grateful, and I'm still extremely grateful because it's an awesome press. It's never going anywhere.
I figured.
Yeah. 366 auto precision, $12.99 to $14.99.
There you go. Yep. So
oh, the 410 is no longer available, and neither is they have the 28 gauge in stock, but what the heck did Hornady do? Why is Brownell selling no longer available?
but it's a press that's worth it. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like somebody saying, I want a Dillon 1050.
Yeah.
All right. Just be honest with you. I mean, I think I paid, $350 for the press when I bought it.
Yeah.
All right. So,
but it was obviously a long time ago because it's a Pacific. So
right. Yeah.
It's not a Hornady. It's a Pacific. So
right.
But the smartest thing that Hornady did when they did it is they literally left it. They didn't screw it up like some companies do when they buy stuff. Hornady left it. I could literally go to the store, get a brand new 366 auto, set it down, literally take almost any part off the new one and put it on the old one. Not that I'd want to, because the older stuff's better, but
yeah.
So
yeah, it's there's a Dillon over here, an RL 1000.
Yeah.
$3,200 press at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably buy it now for 1,800 because they don't make parts for it.
Right.
But at the time, it was the only press that I could find that would load 45, 9mm, 308, 223. Okay. 100%. There was no, coming back up, pushing the prime it. You
Yep.
went down, it primed it. That was it.
Yep.
And they're no different. The case feeder. Well, you had little pins you put in the case feeder to adjust it for what you were doing.
Hmm.
Not having to buy individual plastic or metal plates to adjust everything.
Yep.
All stainless steel.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, Paul Loud, no, they didn't Remington it. So,
yeah.
but I did pick up a 600 Junior in 20. Eventually I picked up 2 of them, along with an old Honey Bear, and then just for the collectability factor. But eventually I'm going to convert one of the 600s that I've got over to 410. So now that I have a couple of 410s.
Yeah.
I have a bolt action, I have a lever action, and then I have my dad's side by side. So
there you go.
Which is going to go hunt turkeys next spring. So, but yeah, one of the things that I really appreciated about the 366 is the where you put the wad, how it spins out and then spins back. Oh my goodness, that's so nice. No pinched fingers.
Yeah, you don't have to try to get your hand in someplace,
right?
And the same thing with putting the shell in. You're sitting there,
Yeah,
right in front of you. You're putting the shell in,
mm-hmm.
And then the one thing that I didn't like on the 366 was the primer bin, the empty primer bin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not a fan of that.
Yeah, I would have
rather had a tube that drops out.
Right.
Because that's the worst thing is all of a sudden you go to deep prime and it's like,
right.
You're like, wait, what?
Yeah,
so then you gotta shake the bin so you can get it out.
Yeah. And
yep, I have felt that pain.
I also like the levers they have to shut off the powder.
Oh, that is such a nice feature.
Yeah. So you can sit down and
Ken said, "Screw you guys! I'm going back to setting up my new press."
Well, that's okay. You got
get it done.
Yeah, I mean, I left you. You had all the dies set up except for your powder warning die that he got. That's a Mark 7.
Yeah,
and the powder dispenser. He's all set up. He doesn't have anything else to do. I mean, other than adjust the powder and adjust the powder warning die.
Yeah. Hurt neck. I saw a guy on MeWe a few months ago, or a couple of weeks ago, that had a bunch of 410 holes, but I didn't have any money at the time, so he had 2.5s and 3s. So they're out there, but you're gonna pay for them. That's the problem. So
there were a couple of places in Wisconsin that hold large skeet and trap shoots.
Yeah.
Okay. Go to those places when they're having one of them, and you can get all the holes you want.
Yep. So I'll be back in just a moment.
Yep. So you're gonna get the powder warning die in, and then you're gonna adjust your powder charge, and you're gonna be ready to start loading. So that's not bad. That's for the first time putting a press like that together. Yeah, that is not bad. 2 hours last night and 2 hours today, 4 hours to put a press together. I would say that isn't too bad. So what else is going on, guys, out there? Paul out, it would take you 5 to get your Lee hand press together. Yes, I understand that. If everybody goes to Discord, they can see Ken's FX10 there, pretty much set up.
Yeah.
With the blue light and the lights on it and everything else. Yep. About ready to hover off the bench, UFO style.
That's funny. Oop, there's a riot in Philly.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I wonder what that's about. I was grabbing my phone to look and see if that guy still got the 410s available.
Yes, it's a real Kmart special there, Paul Loud. Yes.
Let's see here.
Yeah, earlier today we were on Discord with Ken, and we were video chatting over setting up and how to set the press up.
Yeah.
Just so you know, that is available, guys. You can go on there and with voice and camera and go through things, and people here will help you get set up.
Yep.
And
also, if you just want to bullcrap for a while.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, we've had the kind of video set up for a bit, but not ever seriously used it. So,
yeah, this is the first time we used it, and that I know of, and it worked very well.
Yeah.
You know,
so emptyshotgunholes.com has a bunch, but Ken's talking about, or Paul's talking about Kmart specials.
Yeah, that's the blue light that comes on the FX10 press.
Oh, I was gonna say, is he a blue light special?
Yeah, of course he is. You know that.
Yes, he is.
He's had his vent on his lead smelter turned off for too long.
So, let's see here.
And Paul is all set up. Paul Loud is also all set up for his sight in for deer this year. He's got his dime to measure his groups with. Just so everybody knows, this is the dime that you get, you know. So I'm the distributor of the dime. So this is 3 inches. So you can shoot a good group with that and be covered with a dime.
Nice. I'm just checking ballistic products
Okay.
to see if they have any 410.
A Lee loader for 3.5-inch 12 gauge hulls.
No.
No. You're going to have to go to a mech junior to get to 3.5.
So they list Fiocchi, Cheddite, and Federal. Of course, there's none in stock currently. You used to be able to, and I see you can't anymore, but you used to be able to have them let you know. I suppose that's probably.
Yeah.
Oh, they have 2-inch Cheddites too.
Ooh.
For any of you who have a really old 410. So. And then they got a bunch of Federal recertified holes that they list, but they don't have any of those right now. So. Anyway.
Yeah, there are a lot of out of stock on a lot of that.
Yep. Holy crap. Graphs has
Graff and Sons?
Yeah, Graff and Sons has 2.5s in stock.
Oh, wow.
$24.99 or $24.95 for 100 hulls. I should order those right now while I'm thinking about it. Oh,
that's a pretty good price.
Damn it! I don't have my wallet down here. Son of a bitch. Yeah, they got red, white, and blue. Oh, they've actually got some of the. Oh, those are all primed, by the way, kids. So, well, what do you expect?
Well,
over $1 a piece. They're primed, so you don't have to buy primers. So
yeah, and you can buy them in 1,000 lots for $225.
Yeah, or you can buy a 5,000 lot for $1,085.
Yeah.
So, but 410's expensive. So, I mean, that's the bottom line. So, but
yeah, 28 gauge is cheaper.
Yep.
2 3/4 inch for $21.39. And
actually, that's 25 or 26 or 25 cents a hull.
Yeah.
For the primed. So when you figure it's 9 cents a primer, it's 15 cents a hull. That's actually a pretty good price, considering BPI was charging more than that. So, let's see here. Now, precisionreloading.com actually has the ability to let you know. And so, but they don't have any in stock right now. But yeah, find yourself a place that's got skeet shoot, and there you go. So
Greg, the quarter is still 3 inches, so we use a dime when we measure our groups.
prairie wind decoys. Do they have any in stock? Oh, they're out of stock. Now those are pricey.
Yeah.
Those are $39.95 for 100. No, thank you.
Go to Graph.
Right.
The Graph. Yeah.
Don't forget, don't sleep on Graph and Sons. They're amazingly surprising with some of the stuff they've got in stock, and especially their prices. So,
yeah. They're a good company to deal with.
Yeah. So a couple of things I've ordered from shipping was pretty quick too. So.
How you doing, Lewis?
So anyway, Greg Wyatt wants. I wonder.
No, Lee never made a 3.5 inch 12 gauge loader. No.
Now the Mech Steelmaster you can.
Yeah.
I think that's the only one.
I thought they made a 600 that was adjustable.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, that was the 3 inch. That was that not the 3.5.
Let's go to Mech. I believe they make a conversion kit because they actually make a conversion kit for Mech to go down to 2.5 on the 12s. Actually, they make a conversion kit on the Mech to go down to the minis.
Okay.
So. There we go. So the 600 Junior is now available in 10 gauge, 12 gauge, 16 gauge, 20 gauge, 28 gauge, and 410.
Okay. 10 gauge only comes in 3 or 3.5 inch, right?
I think I've only seen them in 3.5, but I imagine the older ones were probably 3. I'm looking at the list here to see. If they list in the parts. No. They do make a auto primer, or
you're right. 10 gauge is only 3.5 inch. Okay.
Oh, they make a little rack for the powder bushing, so it's kind of cool.
Somebody could 3D print those.
All right, so converts mech reloaders to reload shorter shot cells. Compatible with 600 Junior Mark V Size Master Steel Master to reload shorter shells. It'll take the. So they make Well, let's go on the shorter way. I don't want to do that. That one says it goes from 3.5 to 3 or 2 3/4, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But that's not it. I don't think so. They make a steel shot conversion kit.
Which is just has, instead of having the soft aluminum bushings, it has the hard steel bushings.
Yeah. There's a guy named Scottish Homestead that says reloading 3.5-inch shells in a Lee Lodall press. There's a YouTube video out there.
I can see dumping the powder twice.
Mech part number 8755. Let's see here.
So while he's looking for that, now I want to, while we had everybody online here, does anybody have any questions that they want us to answer? Stump the panel or something like that, send it to us. Complete, please. Don't leave things out.
Right.
Like the caliber, the case.
Excuse me.
Because we have a hard time doing our Karnak impersonation of trying to figure out what the problem is if we don't know what the case is or something like that. Does anybody remember Karnak?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I think our audience is too young to remember.
Let's see here. So, according to one thing I found, they said there's a mech part, but that'll do.
To go up?
Yeah. But I don't know. He said he ordered it from Precision Reloading.
Okay.
So I don't know. We'll see here. Excuse me. But yeah, I know you can go shorter.
Yeah.
I don't see anything to go longer. So I'll have to shoot an email off to Sean at Mac and find out. But I don't think you can.
I thought they made a conversion kit to go bigger. Could be a long time ago, though, too.
Emailing him as we speak, because otherwise I'll forget. So, I don't know. It'd be nice if you could reload 3.5s, but
yeah,
I guess if you shoot 3.5s, I don't. What did you hunt with? 3s or 3.5s or 2 3/4?
Most of my live bird hunting was with 2 3/4 20 gauge.
Yeah,
but I hunted with a dog, so I've owned short hairs until I turned 60. So when we had to put the last one down, I said I wasn't going to take another one at that time.
Yeah.
And they've gotten more expensive over the years.
Yes, they have.
First one was about $750.
Hmm.
And the wife and I were just married, so that was 43 years ago.
Yep.
Went out, went to the kennel, went out and flushed some birds with the mom. The pup was too young to do that, but
Yep.
the mom was good, and so we got a female, and she was. Only thing about her is that I came back the first time, and I told my wife I had to buy a horse. Dog wanted to hunt in not in the same county that I was in.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
Paul Loud wants to know how well the dog shot.
dog shot real well.
And then Michael Hurtnick said that's a great price. That's a cheap for a dog that can shoot. So
Yeah.
And Greg says he uses 3.5s for blackbirds and coyotes.
Okay.
Nice. He also wants to know what's the fastest way to find the best load for 223 in an AR in 65 or 70 grain. First, pick a grain. Just pick one. I guess it depends what you're using it for. Whitetails probably would be my guess. Maybe yotes. But frankly, 65 grains overkill in a yote. You can use a 40 grain, and it's pretty damn effective. And it usually if you use the Armageddons, they usually come apart inside and don't go out the pelt. So anyway, he said so far 48 in one shot on blackbirds. Nice job.
Yeah. If I want to find a load quickly, that quick and dirty, I will load in half grain increments, and with one bullet, one load for each one, and I will print them on a piece of paper at 200 yards and to see what the dispersion is. And what I'm looking for is when I get two that are close together that will close or touch.
Yeah.
At that. And if I'm there and they're within a half grain of each other, I got a load.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you're down and dirty, like I am with a bolt gun, then it's 5 and 10 shot groups. And but I won't shoot if the first two don't shoot. I won't shoot any more of it. I'll pull the bullet and
save the bullet. Yeah,
save the bullet and dump the powder and just go on from there. Yeah, it's. You find the best way, and Sierra makes a nice 65 grain soft point boat tail for a 1-in-9 twist or faster barrel, and it will do deer pretty damn good. And coyotes, it's well, I never save the fur on coyotes. It's just
I mean that's kind of thing. If you're just doing pest eradication, that's one thing. If you're because frankly, I've shot them with 3-inch turkey loads.
Yeah,
coyote is the one species of animal that will walk out that automatically ends whatever hunt I'm currently on. And it's now just become a coyote hunt. So
Used to fox hunt when I was young,
Mm-hmm.
before I got married. Was on snowshoes, carry a 22 250 and a a big bag
Yeah.
to rest the gun on as you lay down in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a 40 grain bullet because that way it stayed inside and didn't go out.
Yep.
And at that time, if you took uh, $5, $10 bills, that was what a coyote, I mean, excuse me, a red fox is worth.
Oh yeah.
And you could lay it out, and that's those $5 bills. That's how big a fox is. So I mean,
Right.
they're not big.
No,
So
no, they're not at all. They're about the same. They're probably a little shorter than a full size beagle,
mhm.
and height wise, they're a little longer, but they're skinny.
Yeah, put three $10 bills and then
Yep.
okay, and then two bills below the other one. The head
Yep.
is the first 10. The two below it is are the body,
Yep.
and that's it. And
And that
in the
long bushy tail.
right, and when you go, if you are hunting and you work from the north to south, and um, you can find the coyotes. I mean the coyotes and the foxes curled up in the snow dens,
Yep.
and you can shoot them that way.
Yeah.
Um, I used to make a couple $100 a year that way.
Yeah. Back when fox pelts were really good.
Yeah,
So, um, so Greg said ladder test. Not if you're trying to find it quick.
no, no.
Ladder test is not quick. Um, what I've done for quick load is I will start in the middle. I'll take the max and the min, get the difference between the two, divide it in half. Basically, I'll take the max minus the min divided by 2, and then I will go 3/10 down and then 6/10 down, and I will go 3/10 up and 6/10 up, um, 3 each, and see where we're at. And honestly, the 6 times I've done it, it's in there somewhere.
Yeah, law of
That
averages tell you that it's going to be there.
that's 30 odd 6, 308, and 223 and 257 Weatherby were the cartridges that I was doing that with. So, I mean, it not always going to work, I guarantee you, because there are certain freak things out there that max charge is your go to. I mean, there's just, it happens. But typically, usually somewhere in that middle range, middle to, and
Yeah,
I've had it middle to low. I've had it on the low side of middle, and I've had it on the high side of middle. So it's not just an all, you can't just pick one side of it and go. So, but
yeah. I mean,
Paul's idea is probably a little better. And you're going to, you may miss stuff with mine that you're not going to miss with Paul's. So,
I'm just looking for two shots that are real close together. Okay,
yep.
that are close in the range. Okay, so they're within a half grain of each other,
Mm-hmm.
and if they're close together, that's a good node where they're both going to sit, and you should be, should be a fairly good group. You're shooting an AR, so um, I am not going to say they're inaccurate because they are very accurate, but the best I can do out of most of my ARs is maybe 3/4 of an inch. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, of course, I don't really load much for them. I just, my defensive load is a 69 grain Nosler or Sierra bullet. It's backed by 25 grains of AAA, double A 2230, and that's it. I mean, I like the big heavy bullet,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, one of these days I'm gonna get around to load up some of those all copper ones that they have now.
That'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, so we should do another call-in show.
Yeah.
I got to plan that. I've also got a couple of guests that I'm working with to try and get them on. So I've been talking with Kyle from Anderson Manufacturing. Unfortunately, their bolt action got pushed back a bit. So
Okay.
they're still hoping by the end of third quarter, which we're rapidly creeping up on here. But so it's probably going to be fourth quarter. But I was thinking about bringing him on just to talk about ARs and stuff and their manufacturing process and that type of thing. So
Okay. Okay. That would be an interesting show.
yeah.
I I'm I like ARs. I mean, I carried it one long enough. The some of them can be really accurate, but I just have not wanted to spend a $600 for a Krager barrel on one.
Yep.
But I have used. I have one rifle here that's set up for night work, and it has a caudal rifling in it. It's a 3-groove caudal rifle barrel. In other words, it doesn't really have grooves. It's just got lumps,
Interesting.
and it doesn't um, it doesn't fall out very easily.
Yeah.
And it's like almost like the polygonal rifling that H&K used to use in there, but they call it caudal rifling. And yeah, it was it's a good night gun.
Yeah. So Greg wants to know how your 70 grain load worked out.
77 grain. We're still working on it. We have some that are shooting in the half-inch range right now. And they've been annealed and reloaded, ready to go. So next chance I get to go to the range, which will be in October, beginning of October, I will test it out. And in between that, I have a doctor's appointment to go get my eyes checked. So see if the glasses got to be changed again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there are so many different AR barrels out there now and everything else. Bolts, JP Enterprise makes them really nice stuff for them.
Yes, they do.
Lots
of different things you can play with to get them.
Yeah, and what you want to do with them. I mean,
right.
You guys can.
There's people shoot 600,000 yards with them. So.
Well, yeah, if you guys are, if you gotta want to hunt with one, if you want to hunt coyotes with one, I'd say go out and buy yourself a good accurate one, or put a good accurate barrel on one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the number one thing. Number two, invest in a infrared laser and a pair of night vision.
Mm-hmm.
the nice thing about night vision is you can recognize what kind of game it is versus the
Infrared.
infrared. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Sean was talking about that on We Like Shooting the last couple shows about it. They actually had somebody on, not last week, I think the week before, maybe, from one of the night vision companies. So it's definitely worth listening to, especially if you don't know a lot about NVGs and night vision and thermal and all that fun stuff. So, but
and just so you know, they ain't going to get any cheaper. Okay. Especially thermals will get cheaper. Night vision will not get cheaper.
no.
You know, it's
Well, I mean, we could make a trip to Afghanistan. They got a bunch.
Yeah, they got a whole bunch of stuff. Yes.
Road trip.
There we go. Yeah. I can see us now. Halo in, right?
Yeah. Halo in, hijack one of the Abrams or the helicopters they left there or whatever.
Yep.
Fly back out. We're good.
Yeah.
I know a pilot, so
you need 2 on a Black Hawk.
Yeah.
Black Hawks require 2.
Yeah. I know a couple pilots that might be interested.
Done. Time to throw some powder. Ken Brown.
About time, Ken. Took you long enough. So, all right, gang.
Yeah.
As we showed off earlier in the show, Patriot Patch Company Patch of the Month. This I will defend. So, Lady Liberty, bunch of fun guns, some belt fed. They always have a cool theme for the month. So, September's always been. September's always kind of been Lady Liberty based. So, but yeah, make sure you check them out, patriotpatch.co. They've got the Patch of the Month Club you can join. You can either join there, or if you want to help the podcast at the same time, you can head over to Patreon or over to our website and sign up for Patreon there and become a Patch of the Month Club member and help the podcast. So,
which would be appreciated, guys. We're looking new soundboards and stuff like that. So,
yeah, some new microphones and stuff, so we can quit having background noise and stuff. Get some better headphones. So,
Greg Wyatt, tried them at 300. I have not tried thermals at 300 yards. I have worked this specifically with night vision, though.
So
with NVG,
the thermal's definitely getting better. I just have to find out if Lions eat cheese. Oh, he's talking about the Lions and Packers on Thursday night.
Okay.
That's not going to be a game. The Packers are going to kick their ass. Anyway. So, condolences to all you Bears fans. You still suck. And by the way, they did transfer ownership from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love of the Bears. So.
Oh, they have, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I also want to mention forpatriots.com. Their solar generator is just amazing. Unfortunately, they wouldn't send me one to play with, but everybody that's bought one that I've talked to has had good luck with them. They're just amazing. Nice thing is you can use them in the house. Power outages, winter's coming, kids. For those of us north, we tend to get a lot of snow. Sometimes we'll lose power. For those of you down south, there's those lovely ice storms that knock your power out for a week. Texas.
Yeah. Well, even here.
Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Indiana, Illinois.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
We've even had them up here. So You need to have a backup, especially in the winter, for crying out loud. I mean, what are you gonna do if you ain't got enough power? Then you don't have any heat. There's only so many blankets you can throw on kids. So
Don't you use the pillow then? When they start screaming, you just put the pillow on them?
no chloroform.
Oh, okay.
Sleeps a lot. There you go. Just remember, kids, sleeping humans use less oxygen.
That's right.
Wow, that got dark. Oh
Uh,
gosh. Anyway, um, that's like a we like shooting ad read where it starts here and just
yeah. Uh-huh.
anyway. So yeah, forpatriots.com. Solar generator is awesome. They've also got some smaller stuff. They've got some solar powered cell phone chargers. And they actually, unlike a couple I've seen in the regular retail area, don't take 3 days to recharge. So,
Which is bad. I mean, because they do
told them
take
to be dead before you.
$3 to, yeah, you have to put them out in the sunlight and they take forever to charge.
Right? Yeah,
Oh,
I bought a couple of them, just to see.
the only thing they're good for is if you own a lab radar and you need to power it. Okay.
Yep.
That's the only thing it's good for.
Mm-hmm.
Because the
So,
batteries on a lab radar don't last longer than the time it takes to set them
no,
up.
you definitely need an external battery pack for a lab radar.
So
Anyway, also lots of awesome survival food. It's actually filling and reasonably tasty. I haven't tried all of them, but I've tried quite a few. So forpatriots.com, check them out.
support our sponsors, guys. Come on.
Yep, we appreciate them and we appreciate you. So
Yeah.
if you use code FRN on your first purchase, you save 10% at forpatriots.com. And then I don't know if the RLP code is still any good at Patriot Patch Company, but Jake says if you email him, he'll get you hooked up. Also, right now they've got a deal going where you buy any patch and you get the free FRN radio patch. So if you use code FRN, and save 10%. So anyway,
Yeah,
I think that's about it. I don't have any shout outs.
okay. I got to thank my nephew for sending the
Yeah, actually, shout out to him for letting him borrow that. So
yes. And next
and
thing we're gonna test out is I have a ugly annealer to do a review on.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So
Nice.
it's a flame one, so
Right.
but hey, we'll get that one going, guys.
Yeah, you'll have to let us know how that works. So I'm kind of waiting for Todd to get the shelf on his, so that way you can do more. You don't have to sit there and hand feed it. So I know.
Right.
I shouldn't say shelf. I should say he's working on a brass feeder for it. I don't know what type he's working on, but so anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so Grandpa told me, he says, don't listen to your mama. Violence does solve problems.
Especially when you use high explosives.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
It is. Something about something blowing up. So when I was a younger lad, hey Oder Sigerson, you need to email me your address so we can find out if we can actually ship stuff to you for t-shirts and stuff. So that's nice to see that you're there, that you commented. So email me at reloadingpodcast@gmail.com, and we're trying to see if we can ship internationally, but we need an address to check it. So Oder, send me an email, reloadingpodcast@gmail.com. But yeah, when I was a youngin', one of my friend's great grandpas still had his blasting permit from 1917.
Ah, okay.
and still had the dynamite from it too. I hadn't seen War Wagon at this time, so I didn't really understand what the little drippy things were hanging on the outside of the
Oh,
TNT.
you didn't notice the nitroglycerin. Okay.
Didn't know what that was. Never had any
Ah.
fall off, so I never learned the hard way. But he blew up a Pinto for us.
Ah.
9 full sticks.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. A
Yeah,
dripping
we were,
nitroglycerin laden, you know.
yep. We were well over 500 yards away when he blew that thing up. It was pretty cool. So yeah, high explosives rock. Anyway, more importantly, if you're struggling, 988 or 1-800-273-8255. We need you. We want you.
Yeah, stick with us, guys. Come on.
Yeah, depression is real, and mental health is something we need to pay attention to.
That's right.
It's not
Mike
necessarily easier.
and I both have papers that say that we're mentally healthy.
I think mine got revoked.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, seriously though, if you're struggling, reach out. That's a good starting place. Especially if you don't know, that's a good starting place. 988 or 1-800-273-8255. They've got trained professionals, and they can get you to more help. So make sure you're reaching out. We need you here. We want you here. Suicide is not the answer. So thanks, gang.
Thank you, gang.
If you know somebody who's struggling, the biggest thing is don't be judgmental at all.
Step in.
But step in and say something.
Help him. I mean, just listen and then get him or her to a professional.
Yeah.
You can't. You're not a professional.
No, but you can definitely be there in a stopgap to listen. So
right.
And sometimes that's all it takes is just that door opening, and that all of a sudden they realize, wait a minute, somebody actually does care about me. So and that's enough. So sometimes it's not. I'll be honest. Unfortunately, there are cases where we can try, and there's nothing you can do. But better to have tried and failed than not tried at all. So, we need to be a community. So, thanks, gang. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.